Hey guys, another update here. Haven't even got a subject yet, but see, I got frequencies jumping all over me like the ticks that they are, and they're going into a slow surrender since I've been doing these videos, so it is making a difference whether people view them or not. I said I'm happy to get 50, 100, whatever videos out before people start seeing them. The way society these days, it's the way the decisions are made behind the scenes. When it comes to a video like this, when it comes to the mind, if it's been manipulated, it's quite easily to decide not to watch that video, whether it's got status or not. But anyhow, I'm changing the environment with the atmosphere behind the scenes, sort of like what these frequencies do. And we had a few more updates on it. So these things live in my private wealth, and that's what I would put a bit more knowledgeable information out there in regards to what my private wealth is. So even though I'm caught up in the subclass and something very twisted happened in history, I still haven't quite got the answers to it yet, but it is to do with realms, dimensions. And so my parents, my father's side is an MC, which has generally got a lot of heritage to it, and there's an entitlement there in regards to all the oil fields on the planet. So all the corporate wealth pretty much runs off the oil fields. And then on my mother's side, I've got royal heritage. So my grandfather's Philip Arthur George. I won't put the last name in there because that's personal. But here in New Zealand where I am, the acting sovereign is actually registered under Philip Arthur George. And that's on the New Zealand Gazette, which is a government fucking online magazine type thing, just with bullshit government information. And so they had me as the eldest son. So when he goes into heritage, it really skips a generation and blah blah blah. So when it comes to bloodline entitlement, I'm entitled to all the corporate wealth in the world, and then I got the royal heritage in the United Kingdom. So this is why I took the piss out of Prince Charles. Sorry to hear you dying, mate. This is what happens. This nature's cool. You're not a king, mate. You don't reign. And you got government and secondary legislation overrunning. I'm repeating myself, yes, but it needs to be said again. Secondary legislation is not law. It is legal fiction. It's a field of information, and it's riddled in witchcraft. Mind manipulation. So when it comes to mind manipulation, this is coming into 4-4 master. You know, and there's numerology and astrology and a lot of other fucking fields out there. Like I said, I don't follow them. I got respect for them. And when it comes to code law, it's very precise. And when the word sovereign and the value of it, when you decode it, decipher into value with another code, sovereign comes to the value of 49. And then the word government comes into the value of 50. So 50 is supposed to be a completed cycle, yet it's not, because it's still policies, public policy, whatever. When this comes to the ministry, another department, pumping out secondary legislation, fictitious acts. But then above government, there's the word frequency, and that's 51. So I've been talking in my other videos about frequencies harassing me non-stop, trying to suppress me, keep me silent from speaking this truth. Like I said, code law is very precise. It's something the government will have no idea about. This is Crown Intelligence. This is what a royal does. A royal bloodline. Because when it comes to looking after a planet like this, where we all live as humans, not a title. So when it comes to these frequencies, it's data. And this data is actually universal, outside of the solar system. I don't know how far they go, but they like to live here. They actually channel secondary legislation, and then this is where the witchcraft comes in through history. And this is what happened when Hitler took out all the Jews in World War II. So they manipulated him, messed with his head. He was actually on the ball. He wasn't completely in the wrong. I got respect for what he did. He did make mistakes because he took them out on humans, but he took it out on the Jewish people. What he was actually supposed to be targeting was the judiciary. And there's people here representing that behind the scenes. This is secondary legislation in the courthouse. But judiciary is actually a frequency. And it's witchcraft. And once again, it comes to the science of the Big Bang. When the Big Bang happens, it was a decision in matter. And when that decision was made, because this frequency was driving matter mental, all of a sudden, when that happened, there was this decision between the decision and who made all the space, who expanded the universe. And I can only speak of it in metaphor, but no, it's definitely a bad example. But like I said, my intellect runs really fast. So manipulation, the value of that word comes to 44. So I cop that a lot, but I'm also intelligent. That's also another value, 44. It's actually intellect. Intellect is 44 as well. There's a few other words I can't actually think about right now. Sort of going a little bit off track. So once again, if I'm having another beer, it relaxes me. And I've always got my headphones on, so I'm always listening to music. Simply because it's not easy getting away from these frequencies. You try to run from your own head. It's not easy. But I'm getting better at it. I'm going to say, these things impose on me on a massive scale because there's a difference between a planet becoming a star or a planet being destroyed. But this one's a forever planet. It's a very special one. One of the more important planets in the entire universe. And a big part of my job here is the royal bloodline, is the royal heritage. This is God's plan, and I'm honouring it. And I'm doing it by myself. So I'm battling with World War III by myself, low frequencies. It's a silent war. You can't hear it. It's frequencies. There's a lot of other artists out there that are copying this mental manipulation, messing with heads and all this kind of stuff. They're generally music artists. They're very aware of it. Government doesn't know because they are sitting behind the wall entitled secondary legislation. And these frequencies help them make decisions and maneuver energy and shift this and shift that, whether it's spiritual or not. Well, hey, I'm spiritual as well. This is how I found this. Once again, corruption in the system pushed me around like a nobody because I'm just subclass. Even though I caught them breaking the law, I still got pushed aside, worthless. No matter what I said, they pushed me out the door. And I spent nearly 8 years now processing, doing spiritual work, a type of work that's not secondary legislation. And secondary legislation has overthrown Crown legislation. I've said it before, but I'm saying it again in such a big way that everything's going corporate. Everything's becoming corporate under secondary legislation. They try to wipe out Crown legislation. I haven't read either of them. Well, the bits and pieces of secondary legislation, what a mess. Back when I started reading it, it was something like 11,000 pages long of crap. Absolute shit. Not one fact in it. The whole thing's information. Information is also information. When you see a set of jets fly over, information. Or some geese, some ducks. When you're in formation. If you're subject to information, you can't see outside of it. It's a structure. Structure's destroying our well-being because these frequencies only operate from a secondary legislation point of view. It's channeled here. It's not even from this jurisdiction. It's not from this planet. They're cozying up, happy, safe and sound in these titles through legal entities. And as much as you wouldn't know it, but they're actually invading us. We're being invaded by space parasites. I call them lunatics. It's a tick. It's a parasite. You can't see it. Para means ear. Now, you can't see it. With technology and history, it's been a very long structure. They've been building it for a very long time. This is what they do to take over planets. When a planet explodes, because they took over it, they try and find somewhere else. So that's the destroyer, we're the creation. We're in matter, human beings. We're not respected as human beings in secondary legislation at all. This is why business overrules humans, overrules family, careers, jobs, and their social status is from their title. What they do is a profession. Without it, the fuck all. This is something to remember, governments and departments of. What kind of human would you be without your job, without your title? Without the respect from your title. I'm speaking crown law, not secondary. World's changing, all behind the scenes. I know your job's getting harder, especially at the ministry. Once again, the ministry. Not a big TV watcher. Haven't watched Harry Potter. But I do know that the school of magic that he went to was called the Ministry. The Ministry of Justice. Now, I was speaking earlier of witchcraft. Witchcraft is magic, but it's dark magic. Mind manipulation. This is how the false kings, fictitious kings, overtook territories. One dirty witch has invaded this planet in such a way is disgusting. So, if you're a dynasty, there's dynasties and deities. I know, I'm not religious. A dynasty, someone who died nasty. When you die nasty, that's when creation will not let you back. You're not allowed back. You do not come back into a new human body, because we do this forever. We've done this forever. You don't just live once. Like I said, I'm not religious. I read the book, but I know a lot about religion for some reason. It's funny, but is it Jesus died and resurrected 3 days later? Well, we all do. Generally, we know 9 months before we die, because someone else is pregnant with our next vessel, our next human body. We do this over and over and over again. So these dynasties, this one especially, was a witch. She wasn't allowed back. So she just floats around and she just possesses other human beings, vessels. And this is another part of secondary legislation. And this is also a universal law, universal jurisdiction. This is how far out of here I've been since I left the system, stepped outside the square, stepped outside the box. Like I said, I'm spiritual. People call it prophecy, I have visions. But I've been to the outskirts of the universe. It's cooked a thought all inside of myself. Like I said, I know a lot about science, I know a lot about space, I know a lot about matter. Without being a scientist, without having a laboratory, just being by myself in solitude, going through my stages of mastery. Where when you learn yourself, you learn everything outside here quite easily. You learn more about outside just by being inside yourself, just by feeling your body, feeling your own well-being, reflecting on yourself, not looking for social status. Like I said, these videos are more important by getting the information out there. When it comes to these frequencies and legal entities that they impose on, we put these videos out there, freak the shit out of them, because they see them, hear them from a technology point of view. They come in non-stop. It's like having a turntable. Like every 5 minutes there's a new entity that comes through, and generally they abuse the shit out of me, and then they start working out who I am by my energy, and they turn around quite quick now. But they have, these things that back up, have 30 or 40 of them on me at one time. You feel like you're being crushed by, say, a wet blanket and then having 30 of them thrown on you and then try and run a marathon. No, that was my everyday life for years. But, you try to speak to anyone out in society, the public about it, you sound like a nutcase. Once again, I'm getting better at expressing it now. I say I've got a royal bloodline. It's unrecognised. There's no king out there that can speak this truth, not to this degree, but as freely as I do. I said, yeah, I'm having a beer, but I've got to relax a bit. I don't even like recording myself still makes me feel a bit awkward, a bit rough around the edges, don't like my teeth. Once again, I'm off grid, living a simple life, to keep away from the system so I can examine it and watch it, what's it doing, and social relations with people and what's going on. And I'm definitely going way up. Well, as soon as I start talking about myself, it's I start losing my vibration. Once again, I don't have an ego, so I don't get a pump off being egotistic. There's a big thing with being spiritual. The ego is a very shit value in life, and it's not us. Once again, it's these frequencies as well. They call it the 7 deadly sins. Short of breath now, walking around. I won't cut it off. I've got heaps to talk about. I am getting into it though. It takes ages to upload these because I'm doing it through mobile data, and I'm only doing this on my phone. But still getting used to hearing my voice on record, and I'm way out now. I gotta let it out. I gotta take it off because my channel's up to shit. But yeah, thanks for listening, and I'll get some more out soon.